Holy crap, WWE 2K15 news, guys. I haven't really been covering the news as much. I've let some of the other directors and people do it. Those kind of videos usually every year get you a lot of views, but they don't build you an audience. So I thought I'd let the smaller channels kind of handle that stuff, try to grow. But this news is really big. So you guys know about the showcase and some of the matches and things like that, and the superstars and Paige is confirmed and NXT and MYCAREER. Well, one of the biggest things about MYCAREER, and I think this is a pretty big deal. Some people may not necessarily see it as a big deal, but I do. This news just dropped today, and I'll be doing more not hands-on, but like more impression videos of W2K15 and what I think about it and all that. But in MYCAREER, which is already looking freaking awesome, starting from NXT, where you're basically going up against Sami Zayn and you're working your way. Basically, it's Rags to Riches storyline from my 2K14, which you haven't watched it. There's a link in the description of the playlist. Go watch it. Is in MYCAREER now. I don't want to call it co-op and like an online co-op because it's not, but you can now actually input up to 5 of your friends' custom superstars that would show up in your MyCAREER in WWE 2K15. Basically, what that means, and I want to go into it, and this is from Brian, Bleach Report. Brian, longtime guy, knew him from Machinima back in the day. Didn't really know him too well, but one aspect of WWE that receive a ton of attention yet is a creative twist of the single-player experience. And basically, it allows players to compete with friends at random. Brian recently detailed it and basically said, 2K Sports is understanding now more than ever that video game fans love co-op experiences with friends. Take Destiny, for example. This wrinkle allows a player to fire up MyCAREER mode and import up to 5 of their friends' created superstars. Those created wrestlers will show up in storylines in random points, whether it be a friend as a foe. Surprisingly, it's arguably the best element of sports entertainment. Hence the popularity of the Royal Rumble and the jaw-dropping returns of Orton and Rock having a career. Having friends create a wrestler intervene at one point or another not only keeps the career mode fresh and expands on already impressive roster, also capitalizes on the event of surprises. They never know what happens next. And that is one of the things about WWE that makes WWE awesome is when you don't know what happens next, i.e. Rock's return on Monday night. The show is really crappy, but Rock returns and everybody goes crazy. As far as this goes, this may not seem like a big deal. It honestly may not. But what this does to me, and I don't know if they're going to be big roles, if they're just little cutscenes, whatever. Like I said, I don't know how it's going to work. But if you think about it, especially for like YouTubers and things, right? If you just have a standard thing, you go through them and you can make some choices. So there's different, consequences and things that would happen. We could have YouTubers that 5 of us each take our thing, and then our Let's Plays would showcase, some of the other guys. And I think that is kind of a big thing because I've always wanted, and I'm going to sound really stupid if it was ever in it at one point. I don't think it was. Basically a co-op like GM universe mode, something like that. I think that would be pretty awesome. And somebody's probably going to tell me there was at one point or something. I don't really care. But I think this alone, it's something super simple. Like I said, it's not necessarily the biggest news about the gameplay animations, and I'm going to talk about all that in a future video because a lot of that stuff has gotten, just watching some of the gameplay videos, like Cesaro, his rope suplex from the outside in is in the game. And when you watch that video, it honestly does look like you're watching WWE TV presentation for a little bit. And to me, that is a good thing. And I honestly, I'm a little excited. And a lot of people have been asking me to me, where are the WWE 2K14 videos, or where are the streams, or this? And my honest reaction is, now that we have WWE 2K15 coming out, it's like, oh, this game sucks so bad. I think one of the big examples of that for me was SVR 2011 into WWE 12, and then WWE 12 into 13, obviously 13 into 14, is that once you start to see all these improvements, trying to play the old game, you're just like, why? Why even bother? Why am I trying to worry about playing WWE 2K14? I've already done everything the game could do, and I was a little nervous about that. I was like, what am I going to do? This always happens every year for me, especially, is during, September, October, is there's really not much to post, and usually the last years it's been, just news about the new game. But this year, I honestly think we could be on the track for obviously the best game of, the current, 2 generations. But I don't think it's necessarily going to be perfect. But little things like these, everybody's always asking for these massive things in game. They want, a GM mode or something like that. But simply a MyCAREER where you can import 5 of your friends, whoever you want, and play with them and get them into one of your storylines. Like, you could be headed to Mania and one of your best friends, 20 Pete's guy, comes out and screws Tubby Emu. Like, how awesome would that be? And that's the kind of stuff that's getting me excited for the game. It really is. I'm just sitting here like, I wonder how I could ever play WWE 2K14. And I think that's part of my dilemma with, making WWE 2K14 videos is I'm so pumped for the damn game that trying to go back is just like, why? You know what I mean? As Dolph Ziggler is about to hit those big elbow drops. So I want to know your guys' thoughts on this. I want to know what you think. If you think it's a notable improvement, if you think it's a big, to me it is. And, he went on in the article to say, surprise is arguably the best element in sports entertainment. Hence the popularity of the Royal Rumble and the jaw-dropping returns, or, the return to Rock on Monday Night Raw. And it's absolutely right. When you get surprised with something like that, it's pretty awesome. Now, the other thing that they bring up in that article is obviously something that's brought up before is, in the NBA series you have voiceovers and it doesn't really fit because you don't know if the guys would actually talk like that. But it fits so well in WWE. And, going down to the Performance Center and getting coached by Bill DeMott, have Bill DeMott drop some lines for you, and, eventually working your way up. And I think, to me, it gets me pretty pumped up. I mean, one of the biggest things is if you go down it sounds as if things can go out of control, players control at sometimes if they choose to go down the wrong path. But in unpredictable WWE, that's not always a bad thing. Dolph Ziggler is not actually taking the ideal path for the club, but overwhelming popularity seems to take him back to the top. I wonder if this will work for creative characters in the realistic game. So I wonder, how awesome would that be if you were the guy to get this, and this could be worked in, future generations, like this year in 2K14, in NBA 2K15, and this is what I wanted to make the comparison of. In the last 3 years, famous out of nowhere, in the last 3 years, NBA has pretty much been the same thing. MyCAREER, 2K14 kind of revolutionized it with some, the cutscenes and a lot of the stuff that happens, and they made it pretty awesome. But then 2K15, after, doing the same thing, the player draft and, you do the showcase, this year you went undrafted, and you had to work through 10-day contracts, and it was something completely unique to the series, and it made it feel, to me, and I'm still playing it, and obviously because there's a lot of server issues, so I haven't been able to really get through it, it makes it feel more unique, more personalized, and, a different spin on things. So, if you do the MyCAREER, maybe 1 year the storyline is, you're getting built up like an NXT guy, and, you're getting this huge push, and all of a sudden, how cool would it be if they repackaged you? Like, just think now, going forward with this game and these little additions to the story, like, MyCAREER could be the next big thing if 2K takes it. I mean, honestly, I would love to see this where, this year you go up, you rise, you do your thing. Maybe 2K16 has a thing where you get repackaged. How awesome would it be if you could import your superstar? Or, obviously that's not going to be a thing, but I think that makes it very entertaining. I think this year's game, especially with the MyPlayer, is going to be something that sets the game apart. My only worry about it is, and I've talked about this before, is if it's not as long. Like back in, I think it was 07, 08, GMO, the story once. Basically, they say your choices would change things, and they just really didn't. It was just matches. There wasn't really too much to it. But if they were able to go in and really customize, like I just don't want like 30 years of WrestleMania. Like I'm not a big fan of that mode, to be honest with you. Like I think it's cool. It's so awesome how they do it, and I enjoy watching it. But I would much rather have custom stories, custom things, instead of just playing through match after match. So as long as that's what it is, because in a few articles, they've listed it being similar to, 30 years of WrestleMania. That's what the showcase mode is. Hopefully the showcase mode stays that mode, and MyPlayer is, cutscenes, because my only downfall would be in NBA. There's a lot of, you get a cutscene every 4 matches, which is how it should be. There shouldn't be, that'd be so much work to have cutscenes every single thing for a whole year. But I definitely think it should be more than just the menu. So I'm super pumped, guys. Let me know what you think. Who are your 5 friends? If you could pick 5 friends, let me know in the comment section below. What 5 friends would you import into your MyPlayer? Who do you want to screw you? Who do you want to help you? Make sure to let me know in the comment section below as Dolph Ziggler. Oh, shit, he's trying to steal a roll-up pin on Seth Rollins. 1, 2. He did it. He did it. He beat Seth Rollins with a roll-up pin. Dolph Ziggler's so awesome. Career invasion. It's coming soon. Until next time, guys, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. And we will see you all later. Dolph Ziggler, he's awesome.